Good morning, Jabu. Good morning, Sis Mvulane. You are on mute, or maybe we can't hear you though. Maybe your audio is not working, I think.
Morning, Precious.
Oh, great. Hi. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And how are you? Morning, Jabu.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well.
I'm well. Good morning, Sis Precious, and everybody that I haven't greeted.
Thank you. We're just accepting a few more people. People are experiencing load shedding, I think, because the temperature is also changed. And they running out of even data. Someone was running out of data because they have to supplement the connection. Okay, but we can start and then they can join us. Let's just check in. How are we doing? Sis Mvulane, how is this week? How is it going?
Yeah, Precious, Mina, this week is not, in terms of built to last, the week is not so good because I'm so busy with the conference. Yeah, in terms of built to last, I have just decided up until after the conference, then I will start with my planning properly.
No problem. But what are the things that you were supposed to have done by now?
Okay, so remember my initial challenge was compliance, and then I've done the strategy, and that's where I ended. I the modules on earning, I haven't done. I've read a little bit, but I haven't done the practical.
So you're quite behind.
I'm two modules behind.
Okay, that's fine though. The aim is not to rush to complete for the sake of completing. The aim is to complete because you have applied and you have worked on it. So I'm fine with that. Okay, let's look at the next person, Jabu.
Oh, yes. Where do I start? In terms of, where I am, with everything, I think you can recall from our last conversation where I was like saying, I just need to get more clients, and that's the space where I am. But in terms of build to last, I have done the compliance part. I use the template to diarize the things that I need to focus on, especially when it comes to to SARS, because that's what's on the table at the moment for me, as I don't have any employees as yet. And then I did the business model, and I did the one-page strategy. And I think coupled with that, then I did, what do I call this? I did the projections in terms of the goals. I said the goals, especially the financial goals for myself. And then we got to, when we got to how to earn money and how to keep money, then I got distracted with a project that I was busy with. So I must confess, I didn't spend much time, even though I did, the assignment, but I haven't spent much time. But I think I have the foundation now to start working on, so that I can start earning that money.
So getting clients, you said that was one of the areas that you needed
Yes.
to work on.
Yes.
Did you listen to the previous recording? There was I think was that last week when we were working on also building up on the target market.
Yes.
Okay.
I listened in, but like I said, I haven't actually gone and applied. Yes.
Go and apply. Okay.
Yes.
How much time do you need?
Sorry?
How much time do you need to finish? Because it seems like you are not ready for one-on-one, because I want to make sure when I'm sitting with one-on-one, one, you have submitted your assignment and you also have applied, so that I can then guide with the specifics in terms of your line of thinking, because the aim is not to give you the answer, but is to guide you to know what do I check when I make that decision. And that's different.
Yes. I think I can use the balance of this week and next week to actually focus. Go
in 2 weeks' time, you should be
in 2 weeks.
Okay.
But can I ask you? I need because I missed two.
Session.
I think I missed two sessions. Can I give you a call and have a chat with you?
First, Jabu, you go through the videos.
Yes.
Of the other groups. That's one. Plus also the modules that covered on those. And as I said to you guys, there's a playlist in each. In average, there's quite a lot of videos in each component. Even when you are doing something else or running or walking or whatever, listen to it. It helps. So that when you then are reading, you can pick up the stuff you've already learned. But also make sure, as you are listening, you have a notebook, so that when there's an idea that says, actually, I need to implement that in my business, you make a note of the action list. Because when I'm running a coaching with you, I'm going to ask you what action that came up from that module for you. How are you implementing that? And what's the quickest way to achieve that?
Okay.
We're losing more people. They are coming in and out. It's quite bad. Okay,
thank you. I'll do that. Yeah. Okay.
But on the customers also, who's your target?
That's the challenge.
What do you do?
Because I provide your connectivity, fiber, LTE.
Okay, so
as well as other IT.
And other IT.
IT, yes.
IT what? Equipment or software?
Yes, hardware and software.
Okay. So when I ask who's your target,
yes,
you are not clear. That's a big problem.
Okay, but sorry, let me come in there. When I was doing the business model canvas,
right,
then I got to be very clear in terms of segmenting. So I've done the segmentation and I've classified the products under each segment. For example, under consumer, it's basically the connectivity and the mobile phone.
Okay.
Yep.
Hang on. First, you have to start with who is gonna buy different offerings, because that's your real customer, the person who's gonna buy all your different offerings, but come to you for all of those. Who is that?
Okay.
Who's gonna buy from you? Who do you want to be the person who targets you? Is it a household? Is it an individual? Or is it companies?
it's household as well as companies.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the type of business that you want to build, you gotta need to be specific. It can't be household or B&B because of your wording that you're gonna need to use in your marketing. The reason why you are not having attraction is because you are not specific of who you're targeting. Yes, you might decide that a household, for example, is a secondary, or even a B2B is a secondary. You may decide that, but you have to be very clear who's your primary, because your primary is what you then anchor it in terms of the wording of your marketing. When you are doing your marketing and the wording, it does not talk to the person who has a problem that you want to solve, you will then miss the opportunity. You won't convert.
Yes, now I understand why I haven't been converting.
Because your marketing does,
yes.
because you are not clear in your head who the heck
Yes.
is my customer. But it's also because when we did earning the money, you didn't prepare. Remember,
Yes.
earning
Yes.
the money is about pricing the product based on what the customer wants. But for you to price it right, you have to know, who am I talking to and why that person?
Okay, very clear now.
Okay, so now we're
Yes.
clear who we're targeting. Let's just say you choose, you know what, let me choose small business owners as my B2B, people who will buy between even 1 to 3 up to 5 computers at a time, right? Not
Yes.
beyond that, because maybe you have not built your supplier database enough, or you have not created strong supply which would like 20 laptop or 100.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, if I need to attract B2B small businesses, where do I find them? And where I find them, how do I wanna package my offering to them, right? And then you then craft your sales process in terms of, okay, when I approach them, what should be the script that we use? Where are we gonna get a database of them? Which area are we targeting? And the good thing, you now have LinkedIn, you have social media, so you can target certain people within a specific area location and then make calls. But you have to create a script that suits that specific customer. You can't have a script, small business, and have a script of a household. That's not gonna stick. So in that script, you will say, my name is Jabu Makwe. I help entrepreneurs to be connected and have continuous support in relation to ICT needs. I help you with setting up even your cloud and the softwares so that you will actually be able to back up your information on your devices. I also make sure that your devices are protected on malware, hacking, I mean, you know your lingo. And we do have pricing models that suit your need, but we also have payment plans to help you set up. So from that, you have covered that your cost, your pricing, because you know the SMME's price is always an issue, but you also have covered that where they do not have sufficient cash, you can also make arrangement for what? For different payment plans. And some payment plans can be installment sale or
Yes.
can be also deposit now, when you collect later, then come with the full amount kind of thing. Or it can be 3 months installment. So you can come up, it can be a finance lease kind of thing also. So there is different options available. Again, as you build your company profile, even on your website, your languaging on how you're speaking has to be consistent throughout. People that want to actually follow up, they must have an inquiry sheet that they complete for you to then start having sales inquiries. You should also pick up when are you going to do your promotions, and how much, based on the volume of how many. You could run a promotion based on a model that you know you can get cheaper, because you know 6 months or 12 months down the line, maybe it's getting discontinued kind of thing. All those things you need to keep into account. Because the more random you are about your approach on building your business profile, plus also your marketing material, the less chance whatever that you're doing is going to stick. Whereas if you're highly focused on just one segment and you build your business from that segment, you can then cross-sell, because guess what? The people that you are selling to who are entrepreneurs, they also are moms, they also have household, they also have children, they also have brothers. So you can then cross-sell to them that if you're buying for family, we have a family package. But it's now cross-selling, not your primary clients. You might also need to think very hard around targeting schools that usually buy equipment once a year, but go further than that. Also offer them certain hours where you are maintaining or maintenance of their labs, so that it keeps you going. You can earn revenues in terms of maintenance fees. So don't just offer equipment, offer with the maintenance fees. Make sure when you are selling a subscription to someone, you get a commission, there's an affiliate associated with that. Okay, Jab, I think you need a lot of time rethinking business and structuring it. Your strategy, your business model might have helped you to be more specific, but I need you to drop out anything that is not gonna help you is gonna make you think you need to diversify. At the beginning, entrepreneurs, you have to go very niche. Only diversify when you have built that one niche. When you are running specials, there are millions, if not thousands, of WhatsApp groups. Share that in the right platforms. I have lots of WhatsApp groups that I'm in, because I've been running this program for years, but I also ran other programs with TUT, UJ. I've run programs also with NEF and Department of Labor. So I do have a huge database on SMMEs, but you have to know also what's your location, because your location will also talk to your delivery cost and your ability to service those people. But Jab, there is also other tools out there that are available where you can solve IT problems without actually being in the same place with that person.
Yes.
So I think the problem is not that there is no market. The market is there. You just have not thought hard enough and focused on building a marketing strategy that's going to help you to outreach. And that is why you don't have clients.
Yes, Precious, you're so right. You know, you used a word that resonated with me very well, random. So my marketing has just been like random, and that's why it has not yielded any, any result.
Yeah,
And I am grateful for this, and I am going to, to give it the attention that it needs, so that in our one-on-one, then I have a much more clearer, marketing strategy, and I can get, even more guidance, so that I can just get clients. That's what I need.
great. So in the previous groups, I've shared places that have more marketing material content to help craft your positioning, your product offering, and so on. But with you, because you don't manufacture these laptops, even using the same wording from the manufacturers is actually fine. If you are selling HP, then look at how HP is selling for you to sell. So I think the work is already cut off for you. And good luck for you, to you. Let me move to Mule.
Thank you.
Mule, hi.
Good morning, this is Fresh. How are you? Morning.
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Well, are you in the same WhatsApp?
No, I'm only left with the assignment that was due today. But what I have done is, for me, this course has been like a game changer for me. In a way that I now see the direction that I need to take in terms of the business. And this has been a foundation, when you're like building and then you have that cornerstone, that holds everything together. So this for me has been it. And, having practical like templates that you can use on day to day, that will actually make our lives easier. And for me this week, I've been working on the strategy, because I went, I listened to the videos again of strategy for session 1 and session 2, and then I relooked at my strategy, the overall strategy for the business, and also reworked on the business model canvas, like you explained the previous session, to say that especially if you have different customer segments, it's like you need to have you have different channels. You need to have like your relationships, how you're going to generate revenue, like your key partners, key activities for those customer segments. So that has been an exercise that I've been working on, because of, in terms of my product, I've got different customer segments. I have individuals, I have companies, like your butcheries, I have like your food outlet. So the strategy that I or the marketing that I need to use, or the wording that I need to use to capture those markets, have to be different. So for me, I've been using, it was a one blanket approach. So hence I say for me, it was that eye-opener to say, no, you need, as much as it's time consuming, but I need to work on that, so that I make sure that the customers that I want to target really get the message of what is it that I'm selling.
Great. I'm so glad you have that feedback. But I also need you to make sure that you see, in each principle that you have to apply it, because you then gonna learn. But you can also tweak it if it doesn't really suit your industry, so that you make sure it works for your environment, but also for your industry. I also need you guys to really think around these principles, where to apply them in your personal life, because how we are in our lives is also how we are in the boardroom. The mistakes that you are doing in your personal life, earning the money and spending all of it to a point that you start even using credit cards, you will continue with that habit in the boardroom. And that is why we do not build the wealth. So, and when we're talking about having a budget and your mind is already like having the negative mindset that says, oh, I hate a budget, high budget, already that's an indication you're not going to build wealth then, because the budget is not a restriction. A budget is a guidance to help you to make sure you don't overspend. The budget is a guidance to know and monitor so that you can have that 10% to pay yourself back all the time. And some people have a mindset that also says, what's the point of budgeting because there's not enough? Actually, that's a perfect time to do the budgeting when it's not enough. Because when it's not enough, you're going to need to ask yourself, where do I spend this 100 Rand? How am I going to make sure this 100 Rand goes an extra month on my pocket? So I really need you guys to focus on basics and work through the principle. Make sure you even change your languaging, how you talk to yourself, how you work through things, and build up routine. If you want to fix your finances, then every day have a reflection. How much money did I make? How much money did I spend? You're gonna, within a 5-day tracking that, you're gonna start seeing a trend. I'm a spend. I'm not an accumulator then of wealth. Then I need to watch. Okay, what should I do this week differently? How should I spend? Because sometimes the reason why we don't have the money that we deserve is not because we're not earning enough. We just are not keeping enough because we have a mindset to spend. Guys, there's millions ways to save the money. Million ways. You're gonna need to figure out, what do I need to cut because I have a goal. The goal generally tells you how much you're gonna need to save anyway. So be guided by that and live by that. Okay, I'm gonna move to Tennyson. Tennyson, please come through. You have logged in twice because I think your network, you have a network is unstable.
This is Presh.
Hi.
My apologies. I've logged on a laptop and my phone because my network is so unstable. I keep hearing in and out.
Yeah.
In terms of where I am, I think as I explained in our last session, so I've started a new business. I only started operating last week. So I'm busy accumulating data at the moment, raw data that will help me to, one, verify the projections or assumptions that I made in my business case. The intention is to run this for the first 3 weeks, but also for the first 3 months. Then that will guide me in terms of now starting to either be able to niche or not niche. So that is on the one business. So I've got 2 businesses, as I'd mentioned, that I'm busy with. The second one, I am almost done with compliance and all those type of things. That's the construction one. So I've registered with NHRBC. I am registered in CIDB and all those relevant bodies. Had a meeting with accountants, obviously, to try and set up some of these processes. A lot for me in terms of where we are is information that I'd used in my previous business, which I'd obviously run for about 4 years. So a lot of the stuff that one is bringing in is stuff that one has either applied it before, but obviously applying it in a different case.
So let me put it this way.
Yeah.
So right now, the aim that you should be working on is to, yes, you are collecting the data, but it should be about, is the utilization of the assets at its maximum capacity? Asset being your car, asset being your time. That you should actually just re-look at that and figure out what things to delegate, what things not to delegate.
So part of I'm glad you're mentioning time. So part of the tracking that I'm doing, I'm tracking both the rands and cents. I'm tracking time, trips, and all those type of things, which will inform me peaks and non-peaks, which will inform me best times and off times and all those type of things, which will allow me to space or allocate another asset that you've mentioned, time, to doing the other things. Because where I'm sitting, I'm obviously trying to stretch myself as best as I can and allocate my time as best as possible.
So
as
then my
opposed to-
suggestion will be, this is the first month, but by the end of this first month, you must have already worked out your best day. And that best day, what it looks like, and you working through it to make sure that that guarantees you a specific amount of money that you need to have to cover your cost and your family needs.
Talking about that, let me ask you one simple question. So I'm using a lot of spreadsheets in doing this. So I'm using numbers such as averages and whatever. How beneficial is, for instance, or what is the most optimal mathematical number to use in order to try and identify? You've just said your best day. So an average will always give you a skew, because it will spread your numbers almost within a certain equilibrium. In my view, unless otherwise, average is not always a true reflection of that. Am I?
No,
Am I?
No. That's a wrong approach to it. So
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna try to use my example, even though maybe this might disclose confidential stuff. But anyway, in my work, I do training, I do non-executive boards, I also do writing, I also do speech. I rate things according to the money they make me. And I will therefore prioritize my days to make sure I spend it on where I earn most money.
Okay, I hear you.
That's one area to optimize. Once I've done that optimization, I will then make sure that when Dennis sets up my time, the optimized time, or the time the way I make most of the money, that get prioritized on my plan.
The business, not the time where you optimize. The business or the activities where you make the most, you allocate more of your time to.
No, that takes priority.
Okay.
To guarantee me the money.
Okay, I hear you.
It has to take priority. It takes priority. And the other work that does not make me as much money, that takes secondary. What I then do, I've already been scheduled. So she will have like a month schedule. I then look within the month schedule. Okay, where do I fit in things that I need to build assets in? So the writing, the doing of the videos, and also maybe doing other things like follow-ups on previous matters arising in other, because that is just now outside of me attending the meetings. So this work will be a secondary, but it helps me to make sure that when I'm sitting in that meeting or when I'm running that training, and sometimes it's even preparing a presentation because of some of the questions you guys have given me, where I felt maybe I need to have a smaller video or a separate video to explain more. So, but that work does not pay me direct on the rate. So I have to do it with my extra time that after I've done the work that is non-negotiable, because that is where I make the money. And per week, when we are doing the planning, they need to know that per week she has to make sure that at least 20 hours is a chargeable time out of normal average of 40 to 50 hours a week of work. And
Wow.
this has already been converted to hours. And that is why every month I'm guaranteed an average of at least between
X amount.
150 to close to 200 per month.
Yes, yes, yes. No, I understand. Interesting. So in this case, or in your case, it's not even about the whatever the Pareto rule, the 2080 rule. No, it's about you being able to allocate based on what you have on your plate.
What you have to
You
understand,
allocate.
we all have 24 hours. I cannot stretch that. The way you guys are doing, including now a job, you act as though the time is limitless. Time is not limitless, time is limited. So because I know the time is limited, therefore, I need to make sure that I actually optimize where I spend that time to make so that I get the money that I need. And that is why some of you are struggling. Sometimes you can't get hold of me. Is because my time is limited. It's scheduled. It's very clear. By this time I should have done this. By this time I should have done this. I sit on about now it's 9 boards. So in those boards, there's preparation time, there's attendance time, but those meetings don't happen every day. They are over a period of time. But even for that, I need to prepare for those. I need to have notes. I need to make follow-up on matters arising and so on, because some of them I chair. But I charge for that.
Time management.
The reason why we lose money is because we don't look after the resources we have. And time is one of those resources. A person who doesn't value their time also does not value what they provide, the service that they are providing. And they will not charge the right price because they are not keeping track. How much time am I putting in versus how much am I getting out? And guys, even on the weekend, which is now supposed to be my personal time, even that is rationed. It's rationed. I know on Sunday I have to spend some time with my husband. On the weekend, in the morning is with my kids, and then on the afternoon, a bit of reading for myself is my own time. On Sunday is family time, is cooking and the breakfast, but at some point going to the gym. And you design, we live a life where people feel things just are happening. You allow things to just be happening in your life because you are not in control. And guess what? When you are letting things just happen, it also means you are prone to emotions. Guess what happens when your emotions are not right? Your productivity also goes to bananas. It just goes, that's it. Whereas if you have a clear schedule, okay, around this time, so even my weekend where it's flexible, I know on Saturday morning, I need to drop off my daughter for extra lessons for things. Okay, by 10 o'clock, we're finished. When I come back, it's time for me to see if there's any household thing that needs to be bought. If there's nothing, then I will use that time to either do her hair or spend some time with my husband. And then after around that, I have a clear plan of what I do within what time and when. Then, should there be a need, a funeral or additional needs, I then can then be able to be flexible. But I know what I'm swapping that with also. What does that mean? Does that mean I don't have a flexible time where I'm just idle? Of course, there is time that I'm just idle. But I also know when I'm idle because I don't have anything to do, or I'm idle because I choose to be. There are days where weekends where I will just feel like I don't want to have any responsibility. I just want to veg out. That's okay too. I take that as my resting time, and that's okay. We gotta need to be driven by output in a way that should inspire us to be better every day. And we will not be better at what we're doing when we do not monitor the resources we have, especially around time. Who you are and how you are will also show up in your balance sheet, will also show up in your performance. And when you are missing these basics, then you're gonna wonder why your life is the way, as though it was designed that way. No, it's because you failed to design the life to suit your needs, to suit the goals you want. So really, guys, I'm emphasizing, and that is why sometimes when people say, I can't find time, I can't finish reading the material. Yeah, I do understand, but I also know it's because they have not dedicated the time. They've not committed. It's almost like they usually make this example, bacon and the egg. Who's more a pig and a
Chicken and
more
chicken.
committed between the pork, or in terms of the pig and the chicken? Of course, the chicken is not as committed as the pig, because the pig has ultimately sacrificed the life. I think sometimes we have the goals, we love our goals, but we are not committed to become the people that are worth that goal.
We romanticize the goals, basically.
Yes. Whereas the goal really, when you are very close to getting it, your life needs to transform to a point that it's no longer an option whether the goal manifests its life in your life or not. Because your mind, your body, your energy, your thinking, every being of you is now doing it. Our goals are not getting realized or manifesting in our lives because we are not consumed by the goal. We are not emotionally attached to them. We are not 100% committed. We are committed to a certain point. And that is why we can easily give up. We can easily change the plan. And I'm saying, sometimes changing the plan may not be the right thing, because you have to action the plan at the right time, in a right way. Sometimes we know what to do, but we're not doing it in the right way, and we're not doing it in the right time. And I need you to ask yourself, when I bring this thing that I want to bring into existence, what do I need to believe? What do I need to think about? What do I need to feel? And what do I need to do? But start with your belief, and then the thoughts, and then the feelings, and then the actions. I think sometimes we focus too much on the actions without taking in the beliefs, without taking in the thoughts, without taking in the emotions. What emotions am I supposed to be feeling to achieve this goal? And that will then lead you to have the right actions. Jabu, your hand was up.
Yes, it's precious. You know what you're saying is so true. As I was listening to you, I was just reflecting back on my life, and going back to the time when I was very successful in everything that I do. And like you're saying, at that time I had focus. I allocated the time. I used to run marathons. On a Saturday night, I would say no to going out, because on a Sunday I'll be running a marathon. And at some stage, and I think I need to go back and identify what made me change. Yes, because as we were talking, and I went back, and I'm like, I used to be very focused. I used to have goals, and I used to achieve my goals. And I used to put in the work, the effort. And I just realized now that no, at some point that changed, and I need to go back in time and do an introspection so that I can fix it. Because if I don't fix it, it doesn't matter how much I try to do. I will keep relapsing. Keep going back. If I don't identify. And I think for me, I just need to identify what led to that, and deal with it once and for all, so that I don't go back.
Great. So I need you to, when you are doing that process, when you have figured out what happened,
Yes.
forgive yourself. Forgive yourself and say, I am better. This is my day one. And
sorry, Sis Precious. Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
As you are talking, I think one of the things that I've been battling with in the past 4 years is that. So can you please help? I'm glad you mentioned it.
I know my spirit can feel it.
Yeah.
As I'm talking to you now.
Yes.
You have to understand that the challenges that God put in your life is meant to help you to be better. The fact that you are here right now and you're recognizing, actually, this is not who I am. This is not my best self. I know my best self. You are very lucky. You're very lucky that you have that. You have a glimpse of what it means to achieve and live your life to the optimum level. Some don't have that. Because you have that, ask yourself, what has stopped me? When you check that, ask yourself, which friends did I have then? Which friends do I have now? Who did I listen to then? Who am I listening to now? What am I saying in my head versus what I was saying then? Because you see, when you come to a space of entrepreneurship and your mindset or your head is not in the right place, you do lose focus because, as I said in our first sessions, I said one of the things that we lack as entrepreneurs is lack of accountability. It's a lack of accountability for our actions. But because we lack accountability, we then don't push ourselves hard enough. Actually, people will work more for a boss than themselves. And I am saying, because we know we lack accountability, then we need to make sure that we put systems and processes and people around us to hold us accountable for our actions. But I am saying, as you're picking up the mistakes that you have made, forgive yourself. And I'm saying forgive yourself because it's lesson learned. Yes, it might feel it's 4 years wasted, but it's lessons learned. The next 4, the next 20, the next 40 years, or even 50 years, you're going to be working and building yourself from that 4-year mistake. Don't make that 4-year mistake to be the rest of your life then. That is why forgiving yourself is important. And from that process, you then say, what did I learn? And you might have right now more mistakes, and it might actually be good for you to list those mistakes that you have made and then go and pray about it or do whatever ritual you want to do. And then squash it and put in the dustbin and say, that's normal me. Do you understand what I mean? That's normal me. The new me is starting right now, right this moment. There's nothing that is wasted in learning. Maybe you needed to take this. And there's always another sign in any coin. Maybe you needed this. Maybe it was a loss of someone in your life. And that's why you got to this. You needed to heal. So let me make another example. So when I lacked a focus in my life, I realized that it was a way also of God protecting me to make decisions that I was not ready to make. And I also realized I needed to be derailed in making because emotionally I was not ready and spiritually I was not ready to deal with the circumstances that requires me to act at a specific level. As a result, therefore, I had to be unfocused. I had to have this challenge of now building myself back. I don't think there's, in all the groups I've shared, that my biggest challenge for the past 3 years has been a weight loss issue for me. I am not saying I'm obese. Actually, most people think I'm just a normal size. But to me, that is not my standard. At some point, as you progress, you gotta need to ask yourself, when you hear things from people around you, is that who I am, or is that their standard, right? Because who you are, who you define yourself as, who you are, should be the standard that you measure yourself against. Because the moment you use other people's standards, then you become unhappy and you then also lose focus. So for me, I also realized I had put friends and people around me. Literally, I even have a photo of some of people that I had put around myself. They were 3-4 times my size. When I'm in pictures with them, I look like so thin, but I know I'm not thin. Why? Because I needed to be safe. I needed to build certain things internally. So do not take the physical result or the lack of focus as a bad thing. There's always another coin on it. There's always another side of it. You needed possible to heal. You also needed some time to regress so that when the right ideas, the right approaches onto it are read, you will then take your place that you deserve. Of course, I did get rid of those people around me so that so I only have friends, as I had said before. I choose my friend very wisely. I only want to have friends that are richer than me. I also want friends that will drive me and help me to be better, healthy, and fit. So I'm more conscious and aware now than I've ever been of who I surround myself with. But I also choose what I listen to. I also monitor what I think about, because what I think about becomes what I feel, and what I feel also lead me to the right actions. So there's nothing lost, Jab. You needed to take that break to build certain things that we can't see right now, to learn certain things that we can't understand right now. But in time, you will learn it. You will come back to me that now I understand why I had to go through that period. And that is why it's important to forgive yourself and not to be harsh. Remember, we make decisions as human beings based on the information that's available at the time. No one intentionally harm themselves. Even those that harm themselves, in their mind, they actually, uh, think, even in their mind, they actually think it's the right decision. Because at that point, it's based on the resources you have at the time. Okay.
Thank you,
So
Sis Praise.
you are fine. You are perfectly fine the way you are right now. Just build on what you know now. And thank you for sharing. I know this issue of forgiveness is a big issue, and practice it with gratitude. And gratitude helps because gratitude helps you to focus on what you have, not on what you don't have. So as you're practicing the forgiveness to yourself, forgiveness to people around you, forgiveness, you will also start practicing gratitude. Gratitude, I'm grateful I have a day, I have a whole full day. What can I do? What can I optimize? How do I optimize? How does this drive to make sure that I earn more? And thank you. Tennessee, your hand is up, my brother.
Sis Presh, earlier on you said something which reminded me, I actually tried to call you on Friday after our last session.
And you didn't get
I was gonna say, yes, so I realized now why, because that was probably bad timing from my side. But even on that call, what I wanted to say after our last session, because you said a lot of profound things, like you just said to me and Jabu. Fathi ngabe uyinyanga kahle kahle wena. A lot of inyangas, they want to see you live to get your energy, but when you do it online, you really high level inyanga. You picked up a lot of energies even on myself last week, and I see that going on again continuously. I just want to say I cherish knowing you. I'm blessed to have crossed paths with you at this stage in my life. And I say this probably for other people in this course and elsewhere. You are God senses. Siyabonga.
Oh, thank you, Tennyson. I honestly believe teaching is healing. Teaching is reminding you who you are because the knowledge is already within your cells. It has always been there. That is why I always say to you guys, you gotta remember who you are and what you stand for. Because when you know who you are and what you stand for, the answers are already there. The challenges that we face as human beings, God has already provided the solutions. At that point, we just didn't see those solutions. We didn't see them in that clarity. So teaching is really about providing that clarity. But I think all of you are in the right path. All of you are in the right path. And I believe also the entrepreneurs that we have worked with, I always say to them, I know the level of your consciousness is way higher than when you started, but I need you to practice it, because if you don't practice that level of consciousness over time, it might actually just start vanishing. So make sure that you just don't become aware in relationship to the content, but you internalize the content, because the principle that we're teaching, you will use them in your entire livelihood, even with your children, on how you will live your life differently. Hi, Mule, you want to just come through?
Hi, Sis Trish. Yo, I think, when you spoke of forgiveness, I think you were speaking to Jabu. It's indeed true, because sometimes you go through things that do not make sense, and you only realize afterwards to say, actually, it was a form of protection from God. He was actually saving you from a destructive path. And it's true. It's a journey that we need to approach with gratitude and allow the process to take course, and allowing yourself to be broken, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, so that you may find and discover who you really are. And I think it's one of the things that, especially as entrepreneurs, we like to appear as in we are strong, but it's only when things don't go according to plan that we actually realize that actually it's more of a heart issue that is actually a barrier towards us being successful. And until you overcome that, that is when you will see that I'm actually stuck in this place. But if you start dealing with it and you start, following, even being patient with yourself, you'll start seeing yourself coming out of this dungeon. I know, because I've also been there, but I surrendered to the process and I emerged on the other side stronger than ever, having a clear purpose of what is it that I need to be doing and giving it all into that purpose. So for me, hence I say this course did not only help me on the entrepreneurial side, it also helped me personally to even deal with the things that I was even afraid of dealing with. You know, the issue of finances, it's what we struggle with. And especially, I'm speaking from a point of, as a Black person, you know, money has always been that it's, in fact, money is powerful. Money is spiritual. You need to be wired in a way that it will not control you. You'll be able to control it. And fighting that poverty mindset, you know, fighting that I want to prove to whoever so and so that I can also be successful, you know, having that sense of you are doing this for a purpose and you're in for a long haul. You're actually building even a foundation for the next generation to continue what you have done. Sometimes as we become hard on ourselves because we want to see the results now because we are the ones that are putting in the work. But sometimes we need to look at it that probably we are the generation that's been chosen to become the foundation. And when you are a foundation, people may not even see you because you are underground. But those who start building on your foundation, they'll actually see how resilient that foundation is. So we need to know where are we in the building of that house, building of that wealth. Because if we are chosen as a foundation, probably you might not even be known for what you've done and the harsh things or the difficult times that you went through. But because something is standing on that foundation, that's where you need to pat yourself in the back to say, I have done something with my life, and that's what I should be grateful for. Thank you.
That is mouthful, and thank you so much for sharing. What I wanted to also remind you is to say that everything that happens to us as human beings, it is for our own good. Even the stuff that we see as human as a failure, there's no failure in life. There's lessons. You needed to fail at that because God wanted to teach you something. And that thing that needed to be taught, what you need to make sure is that you teach others, including your children, so that you build generational wealth. I also want to say that we also need to start measuring success not by the outcome or output, but measure success by the activities that we're doing on daily basis. When I was talking to you guys when we were doing strategy, I spoke about you gotta now need to take your strategy, that one page, and say, what do I need to do daily? What do I need to do weekly? What do I need to do monthly? You see, when you have tick a day and say, I have had a great day, you tick for that. You have ticked the things that you needed to have done. You will not be worried about the results because your inputs is done. Yes, the results usually are not even within your control. The circumstances, the environment. So stop measure yourself on something that you cannot control. Measure yourself by the things you can control. Setting up the right principle, understand what are the principles of this. When you make a decision, before you make that decision, double check your principles. Once you have double checked your principle, figure out, okay, how do I do this? Now I have the right principle. How do I do the correct way? And do it the correct way. I promise you, you will never fail. You will never have output and the result that you don't like. Because you have applied the right principles, you have focused on the activities, and you are learning as you focus on the activities. And what do I mean when I say you are learning from the activities? As you do what you need to do, check, can I do it better? You can't do it the same way you did the day before. Just to improve, just to have some efficiency and effectiveness. And that is important also. Now, talking about the issues relating to money. Money is just, as you said, Mule, it's just energy. That's all it is. It's energy. It's the result. But sometimes this result, which is the fruit, that money is a fruit. Sometimes it disappears in our hands because we don't understand how to plant another tree. Diversifying, making sure the resources we have are generating revenues, making sure the money in and the money out is always maximum 90%. With the aim with over a period of time, you should reduce it and make sure that it's 70%, so that you can take the 30% and diversify somewhere or plant a seed somewhere else. And I always put this, even I think I did it even in the previous videos where I spoke about, because we don't know who we are, those of us who grew up in rural, we know that during the harvest, they will take the best crops and they will put the best crops in Samo, which was a secret place where no matter how the year will go, we will never touch the things that are sitting in Samo. Why? Because we know those are the things for what? For the next season, for planting. We gotta need to remember that as Black people, who we are, and start living by those principles. Because the reason why we are modern slaves is because we have been consumed by things which are not governed by the principles that we should be living by. So when we are approaching money, approach the money the same way our ancestors, the same way our great grandfathers and grandmothers were treating the food they get from the ground. And that's how we should be treating the money. That the best crops, the best, that's what you put aside for the next season. And we'll never stay hungry. And we apply that in every resource we have, in every resource we have. And I think I'm done for today. I think you guys are ready to sort.
Can I just say something, please, Precious?
Oh, go ahead, Sis Mvulane, go ahead.
Okay. I think what I would like to add to all the wisdom that you've shared with us and everyone that, that we've all shared is the fact that we must know that our minds are geared towards survival than thriving. What does that mean? That means when we are so busy seeing survival, busy wanting to survive rather than thrive, we see things in a different way. We see lack, we can't see opportunities, and it is as for that reason then that platforms like this, where we are coaching, where we give ourselves the time to reflect, are so important. Because when we are busy trying to eke out a living, we are more likely to look at surviving rather than thriving. And when we look at surviving only, then we are not going to do the things that we need to thrive, because we'll be so focused on the now, on what we can do now, rather than be able to delay gratification in order to do the things that we need to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sis Mvulane. Thank you. Okay, entrepreneurs, anything else? I am closing now. I'm done for today. Guys, go and work. be ready for a one-on-one coaching. We'll have your pack and your marks and the feedbacks ready. I think Denise is gonna start scheduling those in August, if I'm not mistaken, if she has already not started. And please, I will also make sure that I provide as much feedback and guidance. Okay, no one would like to say anything, no problem. Thank you so much. Go and work. God bless. Lots of love. We thank you.
Thank you, Sis
Thank-
Grace.